$135 billion. That is what Meta just committed to spending on AI in 2026 alone, not over a decade. This year, and they're paying for it by eliminating up to 16,000 human jobs. And nobody is talking about what it actually means. If this is your first time here, I'm Krishna Vrati, CEO of Socio Thrive, where we help businesses navigate AI, advertising, and distribution. Every word I say on this channel comes directly from my research and pen, because in the age of AI, secondhand information isn't good enough and the right knowledge needs to be delivered at the speed the future demands. So here's what just happened, and this is breaking news, not background noise. Reuters reported this month that Meta is planning or considering layoffs that could cut up to 20% of its entire global workforce. That's potentially up to 16,000 people out of 79,000 employees. According to reports, senior executives have already been told to start figuring out how to run their teams with a smaller headcount. At the same time, and this is where it gets truly staggering, Meta announced its capital expenditure plan for 2026 between $115 and $135 billion, almost double what they spent last year. And they recently signed a $27 billion deal with AI infrastructure company Nebius, one of the largest private infrastructure agreements in the history of tech. But that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is that this is bigger than Meta. We are watching an industry-wide template being written in real time, and Meta just handed everyone else the pen. And at the center of all of this is a secretive AI model with a very unexpected name, something called Avocado. And what's happening to it tells you everything about where this is really going. Here's the three-layer pattern I'm seeing emerge from this that almost nobody is connecting. Layer 1. For the first time at this scale, AI is literally being funded by the human workforce it's replacing. The jobs disappearing are paying for the infrastructure being built. Layer 2. Here's my take. Meta may be quietly walking away from the open source identity that made it beloved in the AI world. And Avocado is the early evidence of that shift. The developer community hasn't fully woken up to what this could mean yet. Layer 3. Meta has no cloud business. Unlike Amazon or Google, every dollar they spend on AI infrastructure has to pay off through their own products. That makes this bet simultaneously the boldest and the most dangerous play in big tech right now. Let's pull each of these apart, because once you see the full picture, you can't unsee it. Starting with layer 1, human jobs are directly funding the AI empire. Here's the math, and it's brutal in its simplicity. Meta spent about $72 billion on capital expenditures in 2025, largely driven by AI infrastructure. Now, they're nearly doubling that to $135 billion in 2026. The gap, tens of billions of dollars, has to come from somewhere. And Zuckerberg's answer is the payroll. Think about what this actually means. That up to 16,000 people potentially facing layoffs are not being replaced by other humans doing different work. They are being replaced by the infrastructure that their salaries are now funding. It's the corporate equivalent of a city tearing down its old neighborhoods to build a power plant and billing the residents for the demolition. Wall Street, by the way, loves this. Meta's stock climbed around 3% pre-market the day the layoff reports broke. Jefferies analysts wrote that if Meta is willing to reduce headcount at this scale while ramping AI investment, it signals a broader shift. That AI is increasingly driving productivity with important implications not just for Meta, but across the broader internet and software landscape. But here's what the insiders know that the press release won't say. OpenAI's Sam Altman has called this pattern AI washing, using the narrative of AI transformation as a convenient cover for addressing overhiring from the pandemic years. And there's truth in that, but here's my take. Even if it's both things at once, genuine AI pivot and convenient cover, the outcome for the workers is identical. The jobs don't come back. Layer 2, Avocado and the end of open source Meta. For years, Meta's greatest contribution to the AI world wasn't a product, it was a philosophy. The Llama series of models was open source, free to download, free to fine-tune, free to deploy. It powered thousands of startups and research labs worldwide. It positioned Meta as the democratizing force in AI, the company that gave the tools away while OpenAI and Anthropic kept theirs locked behind paywalls. That era may be ending, and the model at the center of this shift is Avocado. Let me tell you exactly what just happened. This week, Meta officially launched Avocado under its real name, Muse Spark, and it proves everything I've been warning about. They are marketing it as personal super intelligence, complete with a new contemplating mode designed to rival Gemini DeepThink and GPT Pro. But here is the catch that everyone is missing. Just as I predicted, the open source era of Meta is ending. Muse Spark is available on their app, but for developers, it is locked down in a private preview via API for select partners. They claim they hope to open source future versions, but right now the open source champion of AI has quietly become its latest closed source competitor. The developer community that made Llama powerful hasn't fully reckoned with what this shift means. This isn't incremental repositioning, this is a different category of shift. Layer 3. Meta is building a power plant with no utility business. Here's what the tech journalists won't tell you, because most of them are focused on model benchmarks and layoff numbers. The most important fact about Meta's AI strategy is this: they have no cloud business. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they're all spending hundreds of billions on AI infrastructure too. Amazon is spending around $200 billion in 2026 alone. But when Amazon builds a data center, they can rent it to thousands of enterprise customers through AWS. When Google builds compute capacity, Google Cloud pays for it. Their infrastructure is simultaneously a cost and a product. Meta doesn't have that. Every dollar of their $135 billion capex has to pay off through Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and advertising. Full stop. They're building the equivalent of a nuclear power plant with no grid to sell electricity into. The power has to light only their own house. And the house they're building is enormous. Meta now has 30 data center sites either built or planned, 26 of them right here in the US. They're constructing a 1 gigawatt facility in Ohio called Prometheus, coming online this year. And in Louisiana, they're building something almost incomprehensible: Hyperion, a data center campus that could scale to 5 gigawatts. Zuckerberg himself said it would cover a significant part of Manhattan. This isn't a server farm. This is a new kind of infrastructure that has never existed on Earth before. What Meta is doing right now is not a meta story. It is a template, and that template is already spreading. Amazon, around $200 billion in AI capex this year, around 16,000 layoffs. Atlassian, roughly 10% workforce cut this month. AI efficiency cited. Block, Jack Dorsey's company, cut approximately 40% of its headcount, explicitly attributing it to AI automation. Oracle is cutting 10% of staff while raising $50 billion for AI data centers. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, a firm that tracks US job cuts, just reported that AI has already been cited in over 12,000 US job cuts in 2026, and we're only in March. The specific danger is the framing. Every one of these announcements is dressed in the language of innovation, AI-powered efficiency, positioning for the future, building the workforce of tomorrow. But strip out the press release language and what you have is the largest coordinated white-collar displacement event we've seen in a single fiscal year, happening simultaneously across every major tech company. Here's how I see the next 24 months playing out based on what we know right now. April 2026. Right now, the $27 billion Nebius deal is signed. The 16,000 layoffs are looming, and Muse Spark is officially live. Watch the developer community's reaction closely over the next few weeks. Their reaction to this closed source pivot will either validate or destroy Meta's ability to attract the builder ecosystem that made Llama powerful. Late 2026, the Meta playbook becomes the industry playbook. Every major corporation watching this, banks, insurers, media companies, consulting firms, will begin their own AI efficiency restructuring. The language will be different, the outcomes will be identical. 2027. Prometheus, Meta's 1 gigawatt Ohio data center, comes fully online. Meta's next generation Vera Rubin chips from NVIDIA begin large-scale deployment. This is when the infrastructure Meta is building today starts to actually pay off in product performance. By 2028, Meta has pledged to invest $600 billion in US infrastructure and jobs, a commitment Zuckerberg has discussed publicly with President Trump. The gap between companies that built AI infrastructure in 2026 and those that didn't will look like the gap between companies that had broadband internet in 2000 and those that didn't. Irreversible. This isn't happening in decades. The foundation is being poured in Louisiana and Ohio right now. So, what can you do? If you're a business leader, Meta's move is your memo, not a warning about some distant future, a memo about what is being decided in boardrooms right now. The question on the table at every major company in 2026 is how many of our current roles can AI perform at acceptable quality? If your company isn't asking that question, you're already behind the companies that are. If you're a knowledge worker, analyst, marketer, operations, finance, middle management, understand something clearly. The skills that got you hired in 2023 and the skills that will keep you employed in 2027 are not the same list. The irreplaceable layer is getting thinner, building genuine AI fluency, not surface level familiarity, but the ability to architect and operate AI workflows is no longer career advice. It's survival strategy. If you're an entrepreneur or investor, follow the $135 billion. Meta is spending it on NVIDIA chips, data centers, GPU infrastructure, and cloud compute. The companies enabling AI infrastructure, not just AI applications, are where compounding value will accumulate. The $27 billion Nebius deal that recently closed is a signal. I'd love for you to hit subscribe so I can keep you ahead of these changes. Don't miss out. Let's navigate this age of AI together, eyes open, strategy sharp. See you down the next rabbit hole.